It is a phenomenon that feels almost like a prank. You fall asleep at a reasonable hour, perhaps 10:30 or 11 p.m. The house is silent, the room is dark, and for the first few hours your sleep is heavy and dreamless. Then, at roughly 3:14 a.m., or somewhere in that exasperating window between 2 and 4 a.m., your eyes snap open. This is not a groggy, slow return to consciousness. It is sudden. It is sharp. You are wide awake, and often your heart is beating a little faster than it should be. You might feel a strange sense of urgency, or a racing mind that immediately latches onto a problem you cannot solve until morning. You try to close your eyes, but the eyelids flutter. The brain has turned the lights on, and it refuses to find the dimmer switch. For thousands of people over the age of 50, this middle-of-the-night maintenance check is a nightly ritual. It is exhausting, and it creates a cycle of dread. You start going to bed wondering not if you will wake up, but when. We often blame our bladder, assuming we woke up because we needed to use the restroom. Or we blame our thoughts, assuming stress woke us up. But biologically, the order of operations is often reversed. You didn't wake up because you were stressed. Your body created a stress reaction to wake you up. The reason for this sudden alertness is rarely psychological. It is metabolic. It is a fuel crisis that takes place in the dark. To understand why your body decides the night is over at 3:14 a.m., we have to look at how your brain powers itself when you aren't eating. Your brain is an energy-demanding organ. Even when you are unconscious, it requires a steady, unwavering stream of glucose, fuel, to manage memory consolidation, cellular repair, and dreaming. Since you are not eating while you sleep, the brain relies on a backup battery to keep the lights on. This backup battery is your liver. During the day, your liver stores a reserve of energy called glycogen. Think of this like a reserve tank of gas. As you sleep, your liver slowly releases this stored sugar into the bloodstream to keep your brain happy and your blood sugar stable. However, as we enter our 50s and 60s, two things often happen that compromise this system. First, our metabolic flexibility, the ability to switch easily between burning food and burning stored fat, becomes a bit stiff. Second, our liver's ability to store and release that glycogen efficiently can decline, often due to years of stress or dietary habits. So, here is the timeline of the 3:14 a.m. crash. You eat dinner at 7 p.m. By 3 a.m., it has been 8 hours without food. In a younger body, the liver would simply drip feed more fuel. But in a maturing body, the liver might run out of easily accessible glycogen, or the blood sugar levels might drop just slightly too low. To the brain, this drop in fuel is a life-threatening emergency. The brain cannot function without glucose. It perceives this dip not as time for a snack, but as starvation imminent. Since you are asleep and cannot eat, the brain has to use a chemical crowbar to liberate more energy. It signals the adrenal glands to release a potent cocktail of stress hormones, cortisol and adrenaline. Adrenaline is designed to mobilize sugar from your muscles and liver rapidly. It works. It saves your brain from starvation. But adrenaline is also the fight or flight hormone. It increases your heart rate, raises your body temperature, and sharpens your alertness. This is why you wake up suddenly. This is why your heart is pounding. You have just experienced a chemical adrenaline dump designed to save your life, all while you were lying under a duvet. Your body is physically preparing to hunt for food or fight a predator, which makes falling back asleep nearly impossible. You are not an insomniac. You are experiencing reactive hypoglycemia, a drop in blood sugar that triggers a stress response. The wake-up is just the side effect of your body trying to refuel itself. Once we view this wakefulness as a fuel issue rather than a sleep issue, the solutions become very different. We don't need to force the brain to shut down. We need to stabilize the fuel tank so the alarm never rings in the first place. Here are 2 specific adjustments to prevent the fuel tank from hitting empty in the middle of the night. The standard advice is often, don't eat before bed. For weight loss, this has merit. But for sleep maintenance in mature adults, going to bed with a tank that is already half empty sets you up for that 3 a.m. crash. If you are prone to waking up alert in the middle of the night, you may benefit from a small, strategic bridge snack about 30 minutes before sleep. The key here is the type of fuel. You do not want carbohydrates, fruit, or sugar. These will spike your blood sugar and lead to an even harder crash later. Instead, you want pure, slow-burning fat or protein. A teaspoon of high-quality nut butter, like almond or macadamia, a small slice of cheese, or a handful of pumpkin seeds can work wonders. This provides a slow, steady release of energy that acts like a log on a fire, rather than kindling. It gives the liver enough raw material to keep blood sugar stable through the critical 3 a.m. window, preventing the brain from hitting the panic button and releasing adrenaline. How you behave immediately after your last meal of the day dictates how stable your blood sugar will be 6 hours later. If you eat a large dinner and immediately sit on the couch to watch television, your blood glucose spikes sharply. The body then releases a massive amount of insulin to bring it down. This insulin surge often overcorrects, driving blood sugar too low hours later while you are asleep. To flatten this curve, try the 15-minute rule. After your last meal, commit to moving for just 15 minutes. This doesn't mean a workout. It means a gentle walk around the block, washing dishes while standing, or light tidying. By activating your muscles immediately after eating, you allow the muscles to soak up that glucose without requiring a massive insulin spike. This flattens the roller coaster. A shallower rise at 7 p.m. means a shallower drop at 3 a.m. It keeps the fuel gauge in the safe zone throughout the night. Even with dietary changes, sometimes the signaling between the liver, the pancreas, and the adrenals is a bit trigger-happy. The body has learned to be in a state of stress, and the adrenal glands are ready to fire at the slightest provocation. In these cases, providing the body with nutrients that support metabolic stability can be helpful. There are natural compounds, specifically certain botanical extracts and trace minerals, that are known to help maintain healthy blood sugar levels already within the normal range. Think of these as shock absorbers for your metabolism. They help smooth out the peaks and valleys of your energy regulation. When the fuel supply is steady, the brain feels safe. When the brain feels safe, it allows you to sleep through the night without triggering the chemical alarm system. For those interested in how to support this metabolic stability naturally, there is a link in the description below. It explores a method for helping the body maintain its equilibrium through the night, reducing the need for those midnight adrenaline spikes. The 3:14 a.m. wake-up call is not a life sentence. It is a communication. Your body is telling you that it is running out of resources in the dark. It is startling you awake because it is trying to protect the brain. By understanding that this is a metabolic event, not a mental one, you can stop lying in bed blaming yourself for your thoughts. You can treat the cause. You can build a bridge of slow-burning fuel. You can flatten the curve of your evening meal. And you can support your body's ability to keep the engine running smoothly until sunrise. When the internal alarm system stops ringing, the silence of the night becomes restful again, rather than a waiting game. And while stabilizing your night is crucial, there are simple, natural habits you can integrate into your daylight hours that further support your overall vitality. To keep learning about how to work with your body's natural rhythms, click the video appearing on your screen now.